I am Deidré Wallace, a relationship and corporate therapist. The clue is always in the gaze. Point 14. How the brain protects childhood memories, which isn't always useful in adulthood. We know that the brain has many functions, but one that we are not usually aware of is how much it protects us from negative childhood memories or experiences so that we can continue to grow and learn. This is why some of my clients were unable to remember early childhood memories, yet their adult lives mirrored the early experiences without them being fully conscious of this reality. Indeed, any initial prodding from me immediately made some of my clients wary and defensive. From experience, I knew to back down. This is because confronting the brain head-on usually causes it to shut down. This is because it's a defense mechanism that is created in childhood in order to shield and protect the child, but in adulthood, it may no longer be necessary. However, when doing any personal development work, the brain can begin to get in the way. Why? This is because penetrating the brain's memories can be extremely difficult. Usually the brain will run rings around itself and it can talk itself right out of a situation that needs addressing. This is because the brain has become conditioned to suppressing painful memories, and it then does everything in its power to keep memories buried. It'll come up with all sorts of excuses, justifications, and it'll get stroppy, defiant, and even aggressive to divert and prevent some clients from delving deeper and discovering what truth lies deep down. Worse still is that the cleverer you are, the more effective a brain can be at diverting and skipping issues. Some brains can become arrogant and superior, and it may even enjoy being self-important. It may want to debate and argue. Intellectualizing and debate is usually constructive and healthy, but if its sole purpose is to deny underlying feelings and so on, then debate can become destructive. Also, being intellectually superior and so on can keep people at arm's length, because being vulnerable in a relationship might be too scary for someone who needs to hide their emotional issues, fearing that the truth may get revealed. However, time and patience would normally be my ally. I would carefully prod and look for clues, and over time the brain usually succumbs. By then, the client will also have learned to trust the process, allowing me to eventually uncover the underlying issues. What I have just described, however, does not mean that we all contain some hidden trauma that we don't know about. But if there is something, you will know about it. You will know that there is something you just cannot put your finger on. You may feel deep down there are emotions that you cannot understand, and now and again you may even flare up with anger that seems to come from nowhere. You may feel anxious and uneasy about yourself. You may feel sad and depressed. However, it takes a lot of energy for the brain and the body to keep buried emotions hidden. Even when the physical body tries to signal something is wrong via perhaps illness and so on, when the body can no longer hold onto the pain, the brain may still keep on protecting against the past. Usually, however, something happens to force the feelings to the surface. And when this happens, the relief is usually enormous. And this may be the time to ask for help if you haven't already. You may know what I'm referring to. You may have felt this or experienced it too. You may have felt threatened or frightened by knowing or by what your childhood actually represents. How did or have you dealt with this? I would encourage you to start a journal if you haven't already. This so you can write down what you have learned about yourself. This may help you understand yourself and how your brain works depending on each experience, and do write down what you feel uncomfortable or wary about. And please comment or subscribe to my channel if you wish to learn more. Thank you.